Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Changing Times, Living the Ketogenic Lifestyle. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ron. I'm on a mission to lose 145 pounds. On August 17th, 2020, we weighed in at 325 pounds, and I made one of the most important decisions of my life. I decided to go on the ketogenic lifestyle after searching all the diets and programs they had out there, and I was even toying with weight loss surgery for a little while. And we were talking to my doctor around that time, and she suggested the ketogenic lifestyle. So I decided to give it another try. I tried it last year, but I didn't have too much luck with it. I did have somewhat. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but I wasn't really educated enough to continue it, and I got frustrated with it. So I decided to give it another try. Here we are 58 days later, and I'm down 31 pounds. Now, at the very beginning, I also had done something I had never done in my life, which was fasting. I was doing a 16-8 intermittent fasting. What that basically meant was at 11 in the morning to 6 at night, that was my opportunity to eat. And then from 6 at night to 11 in the morning, I was fasting. I was drinking my 2 cups of coffee in the morning and maybe a cup of tea late in the day and water the rest of the time. I totally eliminated white sugar out of my diet. I totally eliminated salt out of my diet. But I do use pink Himalayan salt. I switched off to that because it's better salt. It's really, really good for you. It's got a lot of electrolytes, and I really like that salt. Now, I've been so accustomed to eating the processed foods and the prepackaged foods. I don't eat those foods anymore. I was looking at some of the packets, some of those ingredients from time to time when I go shopping, and a lot of times they'll list a breakdown of what they have in them, and they'll tell you how much salt is in there. But to be honest with you guys, for all we know, it could be 10 times more that salt than the amounts they're actually telling you. So I got rid of the salt out of my diet. I don't need any snacks or sweets anymore, or any of that stuff. I am planning on doing a series of recipes on our channel, Changing Times. If you're not already a member, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. You will get the latest videos. It's been pretty good. I have a few things planned on my channel that we're currently working with. We're doing the Skinny Wednesday, and we're doing childhood memories. Just because you're at our age or at any age, you can still have fun. You have to get out there and have fun, and that's what life is about, having fun. Activities for the week. 3 favorite places that I go to all the time is the Doyle Estate. I love the Doyle Estate. A lot of friendly people up there. I talk to everybody up there all the time when I go there. So I'll tell you how that went this week. I went up there 3 times. I went up there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday we walked 3.5 miles. What a mistake that was. It was great walking the mileage, but I went opposite the way that I normally walk, and when I got down to the bottom, instead of going right to the bench area, I decided to walk up the hill because I had a little bit of a path. And the more I kept walking, the more I kept walking, because I kept seeing some scenery that I wanted to grab out some photographs. And I kept walking and walking and walking and walking. Next thing I know, I'm up on the center part of the hill, as far as you can get up there. And I looked at my pedometer and I said, oh my God, I had walked at that point almost 2 miles. And it goes, well, I got to start thinking about walking back, because if I don't walk back, it's going to be a 4-mile walk, and I don't know if I can make that. So I walked across over there to the far back of the trees, and then I walked down the path that way to the bench area. And I was not out of breath, but my back was really, really sore. And for those of you who've been following me along, you know I got a problem with a herniated disc, and I got a sciatic that's killing me. And this coming week, we're going to the doctors to get a cortisone treatment, and we're going to try that again. We're going to talk to the back surgeon while we're up there, and we're going to discuss back surgery, what would be involved, what would be the downtime. Everything's going to be discussed next week when we go see the back surgeon up in Worcester. So we have that going on. So that was the Doyle stay. So then I went up to Shoalin Farms a couple of times. That's my other go-to place. So I walked around Shoalin's. I went almost as far as the reservoir. Didn't quite make it this time, but that'll be another time. And I absolutely love Shoalin's because, again, there's every place I go, I'm talking to a lot of people. They all know who I am. Everybody's really friendly. And that's been a good experience at Shoalin Farms. I'm going to take off my glasses because if you can notice, I'm getting a glare in my eyes from the light. Okay, so another place that I enjoy going in our city of Leominster is Barrett Park. It's right down the street. Everything is just a little short drive away for me. So I went down to Barrett Park this week, walked along the couple of different paths that I don't normally go, and that was pretty good. And then Saturday we walked at we took a drive into Twin City up in Fitchburg, and we went up to Cogswell Park for a little while, and we drove around there. And when I parked my car, then we ended up walking around the park a little bit. And I didn't stay much because at that time, Saturday, my back was really, really bad. And I was getting back spasms all week. And so I walked really gingerly, took my time, and, kind of sat on the benches and took a little bit of photography. And so that was pretty much it for Saturday. So then Sunday rolls around. I try to film up Shoalin Farms. It was 9:30 in the morning. They opened at 10. People were coming in Sunday morning, and it made it almost impossible for me to film because you could hear the background noise. I tried to film last night in the apartment. There was too much background noise. I tried to go down to another place in Leominster yesterday called the Living Stone in Leominster. It's a beautiful place. It's got all Bible quotes embedded into stones. And I'm going to be posting photographs up on the timeline as I'm talking about all this. And so I said, well, that's impossible to do it there. So it is a Tuesday morning. I haven't posted my week 9 video because of the, I would call them technical difficulties because of the background noise. It's early in the morning, and it's kind of quiet right now. I don't hear the wash going. I got the washroom right behind me, and I can hear that going most of the day. And but for the most part, it is quiet here, and I can pretty much get my filming done. Well, let's talk about intermittent fasting and why you should be doing intermittent fasting. It's not for everybody. I would recommend doing your research. And mind you, I never done fasting before in my life, other than when I needed to fast before I had a doctor's appointment or I had to get my blood checked. And that's another thing. I'm not a doctor. I don't make any medical claims. I would suggest checking with your doctor first before you start anything. So what I did back in August, I was talking to my primary care, and like I said, we had talked about a number of different plans, and so we decided on keto. And so when I went on keto, I was researching all my videos on YouTube and people that were doing fasting, and I came across a channel called Keto Rewind, and she was involved in it for quite a while and documenting her journey. She wanted to lose exactly the amount of weight that I want to lose, and I was really impressed by her videos and how she structured it and put everything all together. And she, week to week, daily, day to day, she's documenting her journey. At the very beginning, Jess wasn't doing the 16 to 8 fasting. She started doing her fasting about 2 months into her journey, and she researched it and she started doing her fasting, and then the weight started coming off a little bit better for her. So after looking at her videos and a lot of other videos about fasting, I decided to do mine right from the start, and it's been working out pretty good. I'm not hungry. I got tons of energy. It's not as difficult as I thought it would be. And so that was pretty good. So for the last 2 months, and 2.5 months, 9 weeks, I've been doing the fasting. So this past week, I started to change it up. I went to a 23-1 fast, which meant fasting for 1 hour, which meant my opportunity to eat was 1 hour a day, and the rest of the time I was fasting. So I thought it would work out pretty good, and it's been working out pretty good. Matter of fact, I had one of my most successful weight losses weeks ever since I've been on the diet. I lost 7 pounds, almost 7 pounds this week, so I was really happy with that. However, I caution you, a couple of days this week, especially at the very beginning of the week, I was very, very moody and grouchy for a couple of days, and then I realized it was because my body was telling me I needed some food. But once I got my food and I got through the first few days, it's been pretty good, and again my body readjusted to this. If you haven't never done fasting and you want to try fasting on any weight loss plan, I would suggest doing your research and gradually go into it. Don't just go in cold turkey like I did. This is important for me to get the weight off. I have a lot of weight to lose, and I've been feeling terrific as I keep going along and realizing that all my clothes are starting to fit a lot more loosely. Some clothes I can't fit into anymore. So now I got to start thinking about a winter jacket, some pants, some shirts. But that's okay because we got more variety going into the regular stores. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about what I eat. Well, how basically I got involved with this free app on your computer, and you can on your phone, and also download it on your computer. So it's called Carb Manager, and so what you do is you type in your weight, your height, your activity, and then it calculates out your macros and your calories and your protein and how much you should be eating every day on a low-carb diet. And so my particular net carbs that I've been eating around 20 net carbs a day, and I don't go over them. Now here's the thing about don't going over them. At the very beginning I didn't have a scale, so this past week I bought a called a grip scale, and I'll put a link below the video. My wife started noticing that I was eating a little bit too much, and so I started weighing up my I put a plate on the scale, and it's got a nice digital pull out, so you don't have to worry about an oversized plate. And I zeroed it out, and then I weighed up my my hamburger the other day, and I weighed up the amount that I ate the other day before that, and I said, oh my gosh, I was eating 4 times the amount that I'm allowed to eat. So this is why I'm stressing this. It's in the scale. I only paid $30 for it on Amazon. And I'll put like I said, I'll share the link. But so they started weighing up my foods. For instance, Sunday we had lean pork chops, and I weighed up 2 of them, and one was 6 ounces and the other was 7. And I was right in my tolerance with my carbs and with my vegetables and everything that I was eating at that particular meal, and I was fine. So going forward with from that point on, we're going to be measuring our food. So I want to know exactly what I'm eating, and in that program called Carb Manager, you can keep track of your food week to week, month to month, and print out your work and save it, and do recipes on there and save them as recipes, so you don't have to calibrate all that stuff again. And I'm going to teach you how to use that program called Carb Manager. It's very simple, and I'm going to share some links below my video in case you don't understand myself. So I'd like to talk to you about a few more things before we close. The number one and most important thing is prepare, plan. You have to prepare and you have to plan, and you have to think things through. I searched tons and tons of videos before I was ready to go on the ketogenic lifestyle, and when I was watching some of them do like on a Sunday, especially the ones at work. I've been retired for a number of years, and my wife's not doing keto, so it's just I'm doing keto, but she will eat some of the keto foods that I'm doing. And so Sunday I pre-weigh my meat, and I cook it up, and I make my meals for the week, and I put them in these little plastic containers, so now I'm pretty much good to go. And so I'll make 7 meals for the week, and then I'm pretty much done, and it's that easy. And if you do a 23-1 or a 16-8 in fasting, you're going to realize how much money you're going to save off your grocery bill. especially if you can get your other household members involved in it, like Jess does. But like I said, I'm not forcing it on my wife, and she doesn't need to lose any weight. She's pretty much healthy the way she is. But my goal is to lose 145 pounds, and it's going to happen. It's just slow. It's a process. You have to trust the process. We didn't put this weight on all in one day. Just remember that. It's going to take longer than one day to get it off. There's going to be weeks you're going to stall out on the scale and you're going to get frustrated. But the bottom line is, don't give up. Tip number 2, meal planning and shopping. Well, when you do grocery shopping, try to stick to your shopping list and don't get going down those aisles where you get all the junk stuff and expect to be eating that stuff and losing weight, because it's not going to happen. Now, I haven't cheated once since I've been on my weight loss journey, and it's been working and it's been showing. And other than my back issues, I've been feeling pretty good. I've been feeling like a young kid again. Now, we decided to join the gym this week. So Thursday we're going to go down to option 1. We're going to pay for our plan membership, and my insurance will reimburse me. And I'm very excited about that because I never really belonged to a gym before, and now I'll be able to get professional help and get professional weightlifting that I'll be access to. Everything's all set up in a plastic bubble. I can film my exercises as long as I don't film anybody, and that'll work out great for me, where I'm a videographer and a photographer by trade. I'm a freelance. I enjoy it, and if you need help doing any video projects or filming or photography, let me know. And my pricing is very, very reasonable. I'm very good at what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I do and how I do that. My next tip is another great tip: get support. I joined a Facebook group called Keto Rewind Support, and there's a lot of other ones out there, and it's been working pretty good. If you got a question about keto, there's a lot of people that'll answer your questions, and they're very respectable. They don't tear you down. They don't make fun of your questions, because everybody have had the same questions that I've asked at one time or another. I'll give you an example, and this is one thing we don't like to talk about, which is constipation. For a couple of days I was having some constipation problems, and I was asking that question, and so basically that meant that I wasn't eating enough fiber. So once I started adding more fiber in, I'm fine now. But I also have to pick up something called MCT oil, which I didn't pick up at the very beginning, and that'll help me with the bathroom issues, and along with more vegetables, the leafy green vegetables, by the way. And so that's been working out pretty good. And I'm also taking something called Keto Perfect Collagen. I wanted to order the unsweetened flavored at first, because I wanted to use it with my coffee in the morning. So I accidentally ordered the chocolate by mistake. And when I bought the chocolate, I used 1 scoop in the 8 ounces of water with a little bit of ice. And when I first tasted it, I said, "Oh my God, this tastes like chocolate milk." And it became a real favorite of mine. And what the keto collagen is doing, believe it or not, it's starting to turn my hair dark brown again. So when I asked that question on the Keto Rewind support group, they said, yeah, that's typically what's going to happen to you. It's cleaning out your liver and all the keto perfect powders and the other keto-related products here. If you take those, they're all perfect for you. And I'm not a spokesman of that product, because I just started taking it, but I'm very impressed with it. And it cleans out your liver, and it tightens up your skin. I noticed all my blackheads are gone. This is starting to tighten up again. My globula, this was like hanging way down. Your skin starts to tighten up. Now I got a lot of loose skin over here, and this is really only the start. But all that will come off when I start doing pull-ups and stuff like that at the gym. Now, mind you, I haven't done any that type of gym, exercise at the gym since I've been like a teenager when I went to junior high school. So this is the part that I'm looking really, really forward to. I want to do push-ups and I want to do pull-ups. And eventually that's going to happen once I get my back straightened out. But the weight's going to come off too. So we have a lot of challenges ahead of us, but we're not giving up. Can't is not in my vocabulary, and I refuse to quit. I am so focused on my weight right now. Nobody or anybody's going to stand in the way of me losing my weight. And that's another tip I wanted to give you. Stay away from negative people. all those negative people are in my rearview mirror, and I'm waving goodbye to the negative people. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. This past month, I had mentioned about my weight. So he said, how much weight did you lose? And I said, 20 pounds. He said, what are you going to do now? Go and celebrate by buying a large pizza? He says, I know you. And I says, no, you don't know me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go up Mount Wachusett, and I'm going to scale part of the cliff, and I'm going to go walking around there for a little while. He says, yeah, sure you are. I said, yeah, sure I am. So the very next day, my friend Mary and I, we went up there, and she filmed me a little bit scaling the mountain. And I wasn't sore or anything like that, but I was worried about the wind blowing me over because it was very, very gusty wind that day, and it was cold that day. But, I did it, and not to prove his point, but just to prove that that's how bad I want things. And we plan on going back there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back there quite often this coming year, but it's when we get better days later on in the spring and towards the summer, because it's absolutely beautiful up there. I'm going to get a season pass, a 60 for the season pass to get into all the parks in Massachusetts. And so I don't have to keep paying $5 for parking when I go up there. And so that's one of my goals for next year. So getting back to the negativity, same person was talking, and he said, well, I miss my bread because he's got to watch he's got health issues too. And he's been on a diet, and he misses his white salt, and I don't have, like I told you, I've given up all my white salt for the better salt. And incidentally, what's great about making your own meals, you know exactly what you're eating and exactly what you got going into your mouth, not this pre-processed foods. So we were talking about bread, and he says, oh, I miss my bread. Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. I was a meat and potato guy for many, many years, and a pasta guy, and I love bread. Like, who doesn't love bread, right? So I said, well, I make my own bread. And somebody says, you got to stay away from bread. And I says, no, you don't have to stay away from bread. You're preparing it a different way. I make 90-second keto bread, which is pretty funky when I want some quick bread. Now, I haven't made the other bread recipes yet, only because we're on a limited income, and I need to pick up some supplies to make those breads. But once I pick up my supplies, and I'm going to be filming my recipes, and I'm going to try the recipes, and I'll give you my take on them, and we'll see where it goes. But just because you're doing a different lifestyle, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give up anything. You're cooking everything yourself, you're making everything yourself, and you're responsible for what you're putting in your mouth. And you can still have snacks and stuff like that, but just do your research on what you can have. And I'll be making all those from time to time on recipes that I'll be following from other YouTubers, and I'll be putting links up below my video to show you where I got my information from. Track your macros, we talked about that. Prepare, planning, and thoughts, we talked about that. Another one that I wanted to talk to you about is fight for it. This is all about commitment. This isn't about if you have to go on a vacation and you want to lose 10 pounds and then you're good to go. This isn't one of those type of weight loss plans. So I've been trying to call it plan instead of diet. It's a weight loss journey. I don't want to use the word diet anymore because this is not a diet. This is a life change. I am never going back to the American culture foods again. But I will tell you one thing. If you want something, eat it. Fine, it's that simple. But then go back on your plan the very next day. But I know I can have pizza from my regular stores and stuff like that. My favorite stores around the local cities and stuff like that. But that stuff got me in trouble. And the sweets that I used to have all the time. I don't do that type of foods right now. But getting back to pizza, we got a lot of pizza recipes that we're going to make on Changing Times. And we're going to even be making our own homemade ketchup, our own homemade mayonnaise. And that should be pretty interesting. Then I'll let you know what my take is on all that. When you're buying the store-bought mayo and the store-bought ketchup, there's a lot of hidden ingredients, hidden sugars, and a lot of salt in there that they don't always disclose. And I want to know what's going in my mouth, period. So that should be those little game changes, going from the regular candies to the unflavored ones and all that. That makes a huge difference going forward when losing weight. So I've already made the switch over. Again, I don't have any sugar in my diet. I don't have any white salt in my program, and yeah, so it's been working out pretty good. I don't miss the sugar. I don't crave any. I have zero cravings anymore. I'll give you an example. So the other night, my wife was drinking a tab, and I hadn't had that kind of soda in many, many years. And mind you, I haven't had soda in, well, at least 3 months. And I used to live off of soda. I used to drink a bottle of Mountain Dew soda a day, and that's why we have a weight issue. And so I said, let me have a little sip of that. And I used to love that soda, by the way. So I go, oh my God, I spit it out. It tastes, I couldn't deal with it. There was just too much saccharin in there and too much sugar in there. And just because it says diet soda, here's what they typically do. They'll put a saccharin in there to make it really, really sweet, but they'll put 100 times more salt in there. So the salt that's in there when you're drinking that is making you more thirsty for another one. So, I mean, soda is no good for you. I mean, I don't drink any more soda or soft drinks or anything like that now. Everything I drink, I'm accountable for what I drink. Oh, here's another great tip that I learned from Keto Rewind. Take tons and tons of photographs. I can't stress that enough. Even if you don't want to post up your photographs, you're going to appreciate your photographs. When you, 6 months from now, when you lose your weight, you're going to look back and you're going to laugh about it and say, oh boy, I was really that heavy. So now every place I go, I'll take selfie pictures, or I'll ask somebody if they're next to me. And by the way, I do it with my mask when I'm out. I'm not taking any chances in this day and age. And so I'll ask somebody to take a photograph of me, and so I can look back and document my journey and my photographs, because I want to see how heavy I was and the comparison, and that'll be kind of fun. And so I would highly recommend taking photographs, and even if you don't want to post them up or share them, put them in a little folder on your computer and save them that way, and then eventually you'll have them to go back and do some comparisons. If you need help with that, I can help you with that. Once again, just contact me through my email below, and if you need help, I'll try to give you some help. The next tip I have is dealing with emotions. How I deal with my emotions, when I get frustrated, when I want to eat something that I know I've already eaten in my time frame, I'll go out and I'll do some walking, and that's been working out pretty good. Or I'll get some exercise by climbing up the stairs. You know, you have all kinds of ways of getting exercise, and like I said, try to get involved with a Facebook support group so that it'll help you to lose weight and stay on track. I don't cheat. I try to make a buddy and go walking with a friend. Or if you got an animal, walk with your pet, especially if you got a dog. I know cats don't usually like to go walking, but yeah. So dealing with your emotions is a very important one. And the last one is trust the process. Remember, you didn't put this weight on in one day, and it's going to take longer than one day to get the weight off. And so that's pretty much all I have to add for this month. We had for this week, we had a pretty good week of weight loss. We lost 7. We weighed 325 when we started at August. Now we're down to 294 and a half, so that's almost a 31-pound weight reduction. And the scale is going down, but it's going down slow. I'm averaging about 2.5 pounds a week. And mind you, I'm 64 years old. I decided to do a YouTube channel called Changing Times, Living the Ketogenic Lifestyle. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there, but I haven't seen anybody at my current age documenting their journey from the very first day all the way to the process of my weight goal, which is 145 pounds. When you get depressed or anything like that, please feel free to contact me. I always tell people when I talk to them that when you don't think you're important anymore, take your right hand, place it over your heart, and press it really, really, really hard until you can feel that heart pumping. That's called purpose. We all have purpose in life. I'm going to close now by saying, remember, you guys are amazing, and I truly mean that. I always close out my videos and my Facebook posts by saying you guys are amazing. Now, about Facebook, before, you can't lose weight, guys. Staying home, watching Facebook posts all day and watching TV programs all day. You have to keep moving. It sucks. It really does. I get that part of it, but I've been moving. I've been getting out the best I can, even with a back problem. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm not letting anything or anybody stop me from getting in my way. But I want to close out this week. Be watching for next week. That'll be week 10 coming up. We'll see how I did. And remember, you guys are amazing. Have a good week.